Hello and welcome to the Park Life Podcast. My name is Mike. I'm a travel agent that specializes in all things Disney, Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruises, and Disney Alani. This is the Park Life Podcast where each week we dive into different topics that will help make your trip that much easier to manage and therefore more magical. Today's episode, we're going to talk about Enchanting Extras, and I'll dive into that here in just a little bit. But if you're new to the podcast, we do a weekly live chat on Wednesday evenings at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on this YouTube channel, and we'd love to have you join us. I post my recorded podcast on Monday mornings, usually at about 5 a.m. Eastern, and they're posted here on the Park Life Podcast channel on YouTube, as well as on Spotify on the Park Life Podcast channel. So if you're in your car driving, you can listen to these on your way to work, your way home from work, your way to run errands, whatever it may be. Today, again, we're going to talk about enchanting extras. On my last podcast, I talked about the timing of everything, and booking enchanting extras is 60 days out at midnight Eastern Time, 60 days from your arrival date. Now, most people, when they hear enchanting extras, the most popular of those is the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. And I think that's what most people think about. Today, I want to open your eyes to a number of different enchanting extras that you could possibly consider and book on your next trip. Some of these are inside some of the parks. A lot of these are outside of the parks. Something to keep in mind with this list, you could have an entire week of vacation at Disney, staying on property, and never step foot inside of a park. And by the end of this list, you'll see just how magical that week could be. So let's dive right into the enchanting extras. And these are in no particular order. And I should note, I'm recording this at the end of April 2025. And I say that because I'm going to mention some pricing in a lot of these. And just understand that A, prices are subject to change. And B, depending upon when you're listening to this could be a month or months out from when I recorded this. And therefore, pricing could change as well. Let's start with the Star Wars fans. If you'd like to build your own droid inside of Hollywood Studios in Galaxy's Edge, that starts at approximately $120 per droid. So if you've got a couple of kids that want to do that, keep in mind that price tag. This one's outside of the parks and could be anybody, mom, dad, children, grandpa, grandma. If this is something that's your cup of tea, there are a number of different fishing excursions that you can book inside Seven Seas Lagoon, as well as Bay Lakes back behind the Contemporary Resort. Those prices vary based on different circumstances and different number of people in the boat and that sort of thing. So you'll have to look at that. If you want to head over to Disney Springs, the next enchanting extra is Cirque du Soleil. Now, I have never personally been to a Cirque du Soleil, whether it's been in Disney or Vegas or what have you, but videos I see, those shows look incredible. So if that's your cup of tea, you can check that out at Disney Springs. This next one, I'm labeling it as one item, but I'm going to go through all of the different variations, and that is tours. There are a number of tours inside of the parks that you can do. Each one of them is magnificent in their own right. First one, I'm going to head over to Animal Kingdom, and that is the Savor the Savannah. That runs approximately $189 to $199 per person plus tax. Again, prices may vary based on when you're listening to this. Let's go over to Epcot. This one I've never done, but I see it being done all of the time when I'm on the ride, and that is the Behind the Seeds, Seeds, Behind the Seeds tour at the Living with the Land ride. Let's go back to Animal Kingdom. The Caring for Giants tour. That is for elephants. Those are the giants that they're touring, and that runs about $39 and up plus tax. I should go back on the behind the scenes. That is between $39 and $45, so very reasonable. If you're interested in this, the VIP tours, the prices will vary, but typically it's $450 to as much as $900 per hour with a 7 to 10 hour requirement. So start doing your math. It's an expensive tour. But if it's in your budget, it's an amazing tour. You get to see things that nobody else sees. You get bumped to the front of lines on, I think, three or four different attractions. So it's pretty spectacular. Maybe a step down from the VIP tours is the Keys to the Kingdom tour at the Magic Kingdom. This one runs anywhere from 149 to 169 plus tax. Now, I should note some of these tours do have age restrictions, so you'll want to check into that as well. Let's go over to Epcot, and this one is a unique one in my mind based on some of these others. They're all spectacular, but this one is the Seas Adventure Dive Quest. Actually, scuba diving in the aquarium tank with the aquatic animals that are in that water. This one is 229 to 249 per person plus tax, so you'll want to manage that accordingly. Gonna head back to the Animal Kingdom for the last three tours that I've written down today. The Starlight Safari. This is about $89 plus tax, and it is just what it sounds like. You're doing a safari at night. They give you night vision goggles to see the animals in the nighttime. Pretty cool experience. Up close with rhinos is the next one. It's about 49 plus tax. Beautiful creatures. You get to be up close to them and learn a lot about those animals. And then lastly is the Wild Africa Trek. If you've ever done the safari ride, Kilimanjaro safaris, I remember the first few times riding it, you would see some walking bridges. And I would always think, well, how the heck am I going to get to those things? And it's the Wild Africa Trek Safari Tour, if you will, 219 to 229 per person. Some of these tours are several hours long. Some of them include snacks. Some of them may include lunch. So all details you want to look into when you're considering these attractions. All right, we're going to step outside of the tour genre now, and we're going to be at Animal Kingdom. You can make an Ace Avatar Maker. So you're making your own avatar doll that you're going to bring home with you. Pretty cool experience. Pricing on that, it varies. Next one, we're going to go to Disney Springs. I've done this one. I love this one. It's spectacular. I will note, though, that it is weather dependent. If it's too windy or if there are storms in the area, they don't operate this. And this is the Aerophile, essentially the hot air balloon that you go up in. It's tethered. You're not free floating. You're not going to float away. It takes you about 300 or 400 feet up, and the views of Disney World are amazing, amazing. So, if you're somebody who's not afraid of heights, you're a thrill seeker, this is right up your alley. Now, I'm going to open up the cover doors. I'll be honest with you. Much as I love the Skyliner and I'll ride that day in and day out, the first time we did Aerophile, I was the one white knuckling the railing as we were going up. But once you get up to the top and you're not feeling yourself going up any further, um, the views are amazing. It was spectacular. So thankful I did it and conquered any nervousness that I had. I think this one is really cool. I've never done this before, but there is a cake decorating class that you can take. I think it's at Disney Springs. It runs about $199 plus tax, but a pretty cool experience if that's something that you're into in the culinary arts, so to speak. You can do that. I mentioned this one at the very beginning. This is the most popular attraction in the Enchanted Extras menu, and that is the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Prices vary on that. It's at the Magic Kingdom, right by the castle. Starts at $99 and goes up from there. It is for kids that start at age 3. If you've got a 2-year-old, they're not going to be allowed to do it. How do they know? Because a 2-year-old will not have a park ticket. And that's how they track that. So if your 3-year-old is with you, your 3-year-old has to have a park ticket. They know they're 3 and they'll be able to do Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. There are a number of different capture your moment photo sessions at the Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot. Those run starting $99 plus. I think it's a 20-minute photo shoot. You'll meet early, maybe tell them what you're thinking, what you want to do, and then they'll get the photo shoot done. I've seen this done a number of times. If you go, depending on what time in the year you go, you could possibly see a lot of kids doing their senior photo shoots inside the park with these capture your moment photo sessions. I've seen engagement photos, things like that, and just general family photos as far as that goes. You can do the celebration at the top, the sip, savor, and sparkle. Experience that starts at 149 plus tax. Over at Coronado Springs, there's a painting experience. If you enjoy painting, if you enjoy arts, this again is a very unique experience that you can go paint something and you have a keepsake to take home with you after. That's $45. And again, I should say all of these are with tax, include tax on top of that. So it's 45 plus tax. If you're like me and you're a golfer, there are 4 different courses on Disney property that you could schedule around a golf. Lake Buena Vista Golf, Magnolia, Oak Trail, or Disney Palm. I've golfed at the Disney complex before. Courses are beautiful, and it's just kind of extra special to know that you're golfing at Disney World. If full on golf is not your cup of tea, they do have miniature golf, Fantasia Gardens, which is walking distance from the Swan and Dolphin, or the Winter Summerland course, which is just outside of Blizzard Beach. Both are spectacular, a lot of fun, family friendly, enjoyable. You're getting to see beautiful scenery. Each hole is beautifully designed. A lot of fun. And I enjoy doing miniature golf, and my family does as well. Kids really enjoy it. You could do a fireworks cruise, whether that's at the Magic Kingdom out Seven Seas Lagoon, seeing Happily Ever After, or over at Epcot, seeing Illuminous underneath the bridge there at the International Gateway. Up close, spectacular. Um, Back in the day, they used to have a Pirates and Pals outside of Magic Kingdom and Seven Seas Lagoon. Just to get to see the panoramic view of the fireworks is an amazing experience. And that one you want to check prices, but I think you can have up to 10 people. So, you divide the cost by 10 and it's a very reasonable package that you can purchase. This one here, I think, is an incredibly unique option that a lot of people don't know about. So again, if you have a day off from a park, and this one might be something that you'd have interest. It could be something you've never done before, but just have a unique interest in trying it. That is archery over at Fort Wilderness, and that runs starting at $49 plus tax. I've never done it. Pretty safe to say I've never shot a bow and arrow before, but it would be a pretty cool experience to do that. Maybe after 2 or 3 intense days at the parks, this next one might be right up your alley, and that is going to the spa at the Grand Floridian. They have a number of different packages, pampering you, taking care of those sore muscles from walking in the parks with massages, facials, the whole 9 yards. Beautiful spa, great way to pamper yourself on a vacation. Next one, I don't think a lot of people know that this is available, but it's a special one back at Fort Wilderness. That's horseback riding. There is a age requirement. You have to be a certain age, certain height in order to go horseback riding, but you can do that at Fort Wilderness Lodge. A lot of fun, great experience. If you enjoy horses, but you're not quite ready to saddle up, they do have horse-drawn carriage rides at Fort Wilderness and also over at Port Orleans. Pretty cool experience. I think it's about $65 plus tax, and that's for up to 4 adults in the carriage ride. So again, you divide that up, and it's a very reasonable price, about $15, $17 per person. If your littles want to ride, but they don't meet the requirements for the horseback riding, there is pony rides at Fort Wilderness. I should note that you, as the guardian or parent, will lead them on that pony ride. Okay, we're going to head to Epcot now, and this is the La Cava experience. You might be thinking, what the heck is that? Well, that is a tequila information and testing experience. La Cava at Epcot. So, pretty fun experience. Think about drinking around the world, and this one really sets you up pretty nicely. Going to go back over to the Magic Kingdom. They have 3 different types of firework dessert parties. There's a pre-party, a post-party, and then one where you're actually enjoying your desserts while watching the fireworks. Runs from $100 to about $130. I've done the post-party where we watched the fireworks first and then had the dessert party after. For me personally, I like that better than the pre-party simply because of this. You watch the fireworks, which is usually around 9, 9:20, depending upon time of sunset. Winter time, it's closer to 8:30. But you watch the fireworks from a special viewing area that's reserved just for the dessert party guests. And then you get to go sit down, enjoy as much as you want of the desserts, great desserts. They usually have a fruit tray. They also have beverages, non-alcoholic beverages. They have beer and they have wine, all included in the package price. And you get to hang out and enjoy that for as long as you'd like. The cool thing about that is usually you stay long enough and enjoy it. By the time you end, the park is closed and you may have Main Street all to yourself, right in front of the castle, no guests around, walking down Main Street, getting unobscured views of the castle, photos, all of that. Great experience, great way to do that. Anybody up for some wine? There is Sangria University. That runs about 70 to $80. Another very cool experience that you can enjoy. This one I think is a really cool thing too. And I'm not a artsy kind of person, but they have a Spanish mosaic art enchanting extra that you can do. That runs about $30 plus tax. This next one's at Disney Springs, Splitsville, the bowling alley. You can make reservations for bowling. You can make dining reservations there. You might be thinking, dining at a bowling alley? Are you crazy? Some of the best food and especially appetizers are at Splitsville. We've had a great time there. The kids have bowled. The adults, we just sat in the booth and watched the kids bowl and had amazing dining opportunity with the great appetizers. All right, we're going to head to a different park this time, not one of the four core parks. We're going to go to Typhoon Lagoon. They have a surfing program. If you've ever wanted to learn to surf, you can do it there as opposed to out in the ocean, which to me would be awful daunting if you've never surfed before. But you can do it at Typhoon Lagoon. That's about $229 plus tax. I'm going to go back to the Magic Kingdom. Tron has a Tron ID program where you can create your own Tron action figure to take home as a keepsake. That's about $90 plus tax. Back to Disney Springs. If you've ever been there for before, you may have seen these. It's the Amphicar Tours. It's a boat that looks like a convertible car. I've never done it, but we've seen them dozens and dozens of times out there. It looks like a convertible car putting around in the lake at Disney Springs. That runs $125 plus tax. We're going to go back to Hollywood Studios now, and this kind of ties into my very, very first Enchanting Extra, and that is building your own lightsaber. Star Wars fans, an amazing experience. You can create your own. That does run about 250 plus tax. So again, if you've got a couple of kids wanting to do these things, keep that in mind that the price does jump pretty quickly. And you cannot send two kids in to make one lightsaber. It's per person. And then this last one, we're going to go back to Fort Wilderness Lodge. A lot of cool things at Wilderness Lodge between horse-drawn carriages, horse riding, pony rides, archery that I mentioned earlier. You can even just go to the Tricircle D Ranch and see the horses. But this one is taking a Segway tour at Fort Wilderness. I've never done the Fort Wilderness Segway tour. We've done a Segway tour one time when we were on vacation in Denver. We rode Segways through downtown Denver. There were different historical stopping places, and we had a tour guide that shared information with us. But it was a lot of fun. The Segway tour at Fort Wilderness is something that's definitely on my list to do. That is about $90 to $100 per person. There are age limits on that as well, as there are in several of these. So things you want to look into. But man, I think I rattled off probably 40 different things that are enchanting extras that you can book at your next Disney World trip. Some of them are inside parks. And in order to do those, you have to have park admission as well. You don't get to walk into the Magic Kingdom to make a Tron action figure just because you booked that experience. You do need a park ticket. But the ones that are in the resorts, like the painting at Coronado, for instance, or archery at Fort Wilderness, or the balloon at Disney Springs, you don't need park admission for any of those things. Like I said at the beginning, you could have an entire week's worth of amazing experiences without setting foot inside of any of the parks with a lot of these enchanting extras. And again, like I said at the beginning, you can book any of these 60 days out from arrival date starting at midnight Eastern. You want to book early. Some of these fill up quickly. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique will fill up quickly. You may get lucky last minute and have an opening that you can snag, but if you're a type A person like me and a planner, which is why I'm a travel agent, doing things as early as possible, ease of mind, takes the pressure off things so that you can worry about the rest of your planning of your Disney trip. That is a wrap on Enchanting Extras. A lot of fun, a lot of it amazing, a lot of unique experiences that I hope you get the chance to do. If you've done any of these, I would love for you to put a comment in the chat. Tell me about it, what you did, maybe how long ago was it? Maybe you did something 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Maybe you did an Enchanting Extra years ago that is no longer in operation. That's a possibility as well. I'd love to hear about that. If you want to reach out to me for more information. You can find me on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Instagram at Mike underscore Disney Travel. You can find me on Facebook at Mike's Magical World Vacations. You can obviously catch me here on the Park Life Podcast on YouTube. You can also listen to these podcasts on Spotify on Park Life Podcast. We drop the podcast on Mondays, usually about 5 a.m. Eastern Time. We also do a Park Life Live every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I like to take your questions and provide feedback and information back to you. We usually have a couple of different topics to talk through. And then I like to ask questions of the audience and get your feedback on things. Love to have you join. Again, those are Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Park Life Podcast on YouTube. But that's a wrap for today. Love that you joined me. Love to hear your feedback. And I hope that you'll join us again. I hope you have a great day and an even better tomorrow. Remember, when you wake tomorrow, it's a great day to be alive. That's it for now. Have a great day, everybody. Bye bye.